Alright, welcome back. So today we're gonna do the C# version of shooting a bullet. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually make a bullet, and I'm gonna be a little lazy, so what I'm gonna do is just right click create, and we're gonna create a primitive capsule. Alright, and then I'm just going to use these numbers, so 0.05 diameter, 0.1 height, 8 stacks, and probably 1 slice, and just going to slap it here. So there's our little bullet, and then we're going to give it a physics, and I'm going to give it a rigid body, and then I'm going to give it a capsule and just add it, and it's going to automatically take the shape. So once you do that, you change its name to bullet. And you'll see I've already done that inside, and I made a bullet.node. So how you make it a node, you just click and drag it into the asset browser. So if I do it here, I could just do it like this, and now I have the bullet.node right here. So I'm just gonna save myself time and not do that. Okay, now once you made that bullet.node, now it became a prefab, so it can be it's an asset link node, so we can call it. So what we're gonna do is I also made, before we go in, is inside the shotgun we made a bullet point, so this is where the bullet is gonna come out from, so the spot where the bullet will come out from. Okay, so that's that. So what we did is we did a few things. So first things first, we're gonna add two more things. One, we're gonna add a Unigine.object gun, which is our gun, and then the bullet prefab asset link node. And this is the shooter animation. So if we go inside the shooter and we have the bullet prefab, we could just click and drag that in there. Now you can put it in another script and be a little bit more clean, but we're doing this for tutorial purposes and I'm being lazy, so there's that. So once we do that, we also have two things. Now we actually add two functions. So in my case, we have a function getGun and shoot. So getGun, I'm going to use it in the raycaster. So what it's going to do is it's going to take in an argument, which is the Unigine object.gun. So that's going to be the object that we picked up, right? Because we changed our state and now we actually want the object. So now we picked it up. We're going to use it here, and we're just going to write a simple this dot gun equals gun, and that's it. So now this dot gun, which is basically this guy, equals to the object inside the brackets, which is the object that we captured. Alright, so that's done. The next thing we're going to do is actually make another class called bullet. Alright, now this class has a start time and a lifetime as our float, and what it's going to do is basically we're going to choose our one second. So basically if we go into our bullet.node and we just keep them alive, let's say we spawn them into our world, what's going to cause it to die? So when we go inside here, we're actually going to add the bullet.cs or the bullet script. So just right click, create code C# component, and call it a bullet script, and we're going to give it a lifetime. I'm giving it a lifetime of 2 seconds. So for 2 seconds it's going to stay alive in this world, and then it's going to die afterwards. So we give it to every bullet. So if I were to play right now with a camera facing this guy, it's going to stay over here for 2 seconds in this world before it dies. So let me just there, and he's still alive forever. Very bouncy, but anyways, so once I start the game, it's gonna stay alive forever. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna change the code to make it so that it stays alive for 2 seconds, and the way to do that is start time equals to game.time. So now it takes the game's time, and we just write a simple if command, which basically if game.time minus start time is greater than lifetime, then we destroy it. So node dot delete later. So when the next frame comes in, it will delete it in that frame or tick. So this just means like at the game time, so the moment the bullet is created, it will take the current game time and call it start. And then the game time still continues rising, so there's going to be a difference between them. So if the difference goes beyond the lifetime that we gave it, we'll just delete it. So that takes care of that. Let's go back here. So we got the gun, we got the bullet prefab, which we linked via the editor. We could have done it a more procedural way, but for now let's make it simple for us. We don't really want to complicate stuff. The whole point is making it easy. So now we're gonna do the shoot. So for shooting, I went here, and basically while I'm holding in aim mode, if I left click the mouse button, it's gonna shoot, right? And just to be sure, we can do this, and now it knows. You could do this, now it knows. I mean, if you're very curious, or if you're, you know, a little paranoid if it doesn't work, go ahead. Alright, so how we're gonna do this? So first things first, we're gonna do a bullet prefab dot load. So now this loads it up, and if we go here, loads a node using the reference asset. So if we go back here, we'll also notice that it also returns a node. So we can actually do a node underscore bullet equals to the bullet prefab load. So now we actually have connected the bullet along with it. So what we're going to do is now we're going to position that bullet dot world position, and we're going to make it where the point is. Now if you remember, the gun's child was that bullet point, so we could do a gun get child. I'm going to choose child number 0 because we only have the child number 0. World position. So now the gun's position is, the bullet's going to be exactly in the gun's position. So next we're going to actually add. So we're going to do an object body rigid dot add linear impulse. So now we're going to add a force into it. So what's the force we're going to add? We're going to add the direction that it's facing. So we can do the direction that the gun's facing or the direction the person's facing. So for testing purposes, we're going to do nodes world direction, and it's going to ask for the axis. We're going to choose axis Y. Y is front, X is right, and Z is up. So alright, now it's just going to shoot in that direction, but we need some speed, so we can just put times 50 or times 100 or anything. So that's going to do that. The bullet itself will die in 2 seconds, and then the raycaster, once you pick it up, is going to get the object in our hands. Imagine this is the hand class instead of the shooter animation class. I know it's a lot complicated now because we're just mixing a few things over here and there, but we're not refactoring anything, that's why. So once it's fully connected, let me just delete this bullet. I think that should be everything. Let's just play it out. So when we play it out, let's get our gun. Alright, and as we click, nothing happens, but once we right click, we hold the right click, we're in aim position, and yeah, it's not facing the right way, but whatever. Let's just shoot, and it's actually shooting the bullet the way we're aiming. So as we're shooting it, it's going to the exact same aim that we are. Alright, so that's working, and then let's see if the bullet survives. Nope, takes 2 seconds and then dies. 2 seconds and then dies. Alright, so we got our shooting working, but now we need to fix a few things. So first things first, we're going to fix the fact that one, it just teleports through these objects. So that's the first thing we're gonna fix. See if it even went through. Let's just Yep, it just went through. So to fix that is pretty easy. We just go through these objects and we're gonna give it a collision enabled. Alright, so now each one has a collision enabled. Now it's going to bounce off the walls. So there you go, it bounced off the walls. Let's just call these Nerf darts for now. Beautiful, Nerf darts. And there you go, we got ourselves some shooting. So what do we have left? Quite a lot of stuff. So like, let's say if I was aiming and I moved it, the gun should be aiming the same place where the black dot should be, right? Exactly where the black dot should be, the gun should be aiming there. So we can do that for the next episode. Alright, but in the meantime, we got our shooter running and we got our little gun running. Alright, so I guess we can stop it here and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.